Hello there. Team WJP666 here, reporting for duty, sir. It's been a while since I've uploaded. It's been a hectic year. Rest assured, I have filmed loads of stuff throughout the year. I've been waiting for off-season, and so hopefully I can get some stuff edited soon. For anyone out there that stayed with me through this time, I think I've uploaded like one video in 6 months. Thanks for staying with me. I work all summer, so I can take Christmases off, or I say take Christmases off, it kind of, probably won't get proper time off till January, February, but hey-ho, here I am now, got some spare time. Anyway, I want to talk to you quickly about Cameo today. Cameo is not sponsored on this channel, don't worry. It's just a cool little thing. If you don't know what Cameo is, it's a place where you can go online and put requests through to speak to Z-list celebrities. I say Z-list, some are proper celebrities. And you tell them what you want, you pay them some cash, and then they send you a little video message. We've used it a few times, mainly for wrestlers. We had the Sandman, James Ellsworth, and Hornswoggle. Some of them of varying prices and varying quality. So you do get proper celebrities on here. Well, I say proper, you've got Nick Frost on here from Shaun of the Dead and all that. 218 quid for a video from Nick Frost. Nigel Farage's on there for £78. Brian Cox, not the science guy. Brian Cox, the actor, the original Dr. Lecter. 600 quid for him. And then we go down a bit, and then we got people like Wagner from X Factor. So it's a very slippery slope of what you get. Oh, I don't know any of these people. Chevy Chase, 300 quid. There's a reason I'm telling you this, and I'm not sponsored by Cameo in any way, shape or form. I'm not even on Cameo because I'm not even famous. But occasionally, my YouTube channel picks up a bit of traction. And I get messages here and there, messages of support, messages of hate, the occasional death threat, but hey-ho, that's the way it goes on the internet these days. I had a message the other day from some fellow saying, can you please give my son a shout out for his birthday? Cameo-style. I am privileged to give a shout out today. This is my first shout out. Anyway, I am rambling. This Cameo's only lasts like 2 minutes tops. In fact, we had one from Hornswoggle which lasted 19 seconds. Yeah, that wasn't 25 quid well spent. Anyway, today's birthday shout out goes to one of my biggest fans, Moon Hambley. Happy birthday today. You are 10 today. I've done the countdown from hopefully you're seeing this on your actual birthday. So Moon Hambley from Milford Haven, happy flipping birthday. 10. What was I doing at 10? Lots of computery stuff and sort of staying in my room and not doing much. Not much different to kids these days. So happy 10th birthday, Moon. I know a lot about you. Apparently we've exchanged messages on YouTube before, so it's not nice to it's nice to know you're still watching. So Moon, great name by the way. There's too many Daves and Bobs in the world. Moon is an amazing name. I understand you're into retro gaming, which is great. A source very close to my heart. Wrestling, well, what can we say? I love a bit of wrestling. And the Beatles. What can I say? You can't go wrong with the Beatles, mate. Back to the retro gaming thing. I've never really sang it up on my channel, but I'm a huge retro gaming fan, like huge. I stopped gaming in about 2005 when my weapon of choice was the PS2. I tried making the jump to Xbox 360 at the time. I've done a bit of casual gaming, but nothing serious. I always gravitated back to the retro stuff. Stay tuned. Going to show you something cool in my collection in a minute. We'll get back to that in a minute. But while I'm here, let's give a shout out to your siblings. I think that's appropriate. Okay, so you've got a brother, older brother called Denver. Another awesome name. My nephew, middle name is Denver. Great little name. Like I said, too many Daves and Gareths in the world. So shout out to Denver there. Now what I understand about Denver is he's an absolute massive fan of Butlins and is a trivia fountain of all things Butlins. And if you watch my videos, you will know Butlins is a very special place in my heart. I used to go there every year, twice a year, until 1980. 7, which is when we got a dog, because the thing was, if you get a dog, you didn't go to Butlins anymore. That was our sort of payoff. So we never went to Butlins after that, and until last year, then we started going back to Butlins, and it's a great thing to have a have a mine of information about. It's great. It's good to have a hobby. It's good to be switched on about certain subjects. In fact, you know what? Come with me. I've got an idea. The family archives. Okay, so lots of old Butlins-y stuff here. Bear with me. Hang on, we got to find it. So here's me at Butlins back in the day, rocking the red stripy hat. And check out the date. E.T. jumper. This is the old swimming pool before they put the Sunsplash in. Yeah, they ripped that out in, you probably know the years better than me, but that's the original Butlins pool. Here's me in one of the fun fair thingies, I guess. That could be Bognor. And that's what the chalets used to look like back in the 80s. Quite different. That bed linen is atrocious. Where the old fun fair was, I'm guessing this is Minehead still. This is definitely Minehead over here. They had an outdoor swimming area with lots of slides. And it was the outdoor bit was actually a lot better than the indoor bit. It was like a proper little outdoors. You've probably seen pictures of all this anywhere online, but yeah, they had these cool little things you could get on. That's me in my slimmer younger years. It's just immense. The outside bit was great, and you can see this is where the monorail used to come across the top there. But yeah, I actually had an accident on one of these slides. I fell down head first, and lots of blood. It was like a shark attack in the pool. That was fun. That was fun memories. Now this is also in Butlins. I'm just not sure exactly where. It's one of the old complexes. Yeah, quite different now. Back in the day, judo expert Brian Jacks visited Butlins. You don't hear much from Brian anymore, but we met him. They put on a little display back in the day and everything. That's my brother getting beaten up by celebrity Brian Jacks. This is the old lake in Butlins. There's me on a boat. I believe, now correct me if I'm wrong, this is now where the fun fair is at Minehead. But yeah, that is where the fun fair is, because you've got the wall leading out to the main part, and that's me. Rocking the Union Jack hat there. Patriotic to the end. My granddad always got suckered into these things, God rest his soul. And they also had a skating rink. And there's me not falling over on the skating rink, so that's good. Right, now this is me in the Beachcomber, which is the best pub I've ever been in. The Beachcomber that's there now is, as you probably know, not the same one. If you can find retro pictures of the Beachcomber, it was just amazing. It was all bamboo. They had lakes inside, a erupting volcano and all sorts. There's another one on the outside there. You see, it's quite intense out there. And we've got me and my brother hitting the Butlins clubs. Look at us, looking dapper. Pimping ain't easy. Picture of inside one of the clubs. Quite different to the skyline, definitely. And this is one of the arcade attendants called Richard. And we used to go see Richard every year. And Richard even came to stay with us. That's how well known we were in Butlins. And there's the other arcade attendant with my mother. His name was Steve or Ian. I don't remember. Have a look at the pool here. You can sort of see the background there. You can see Minehead seafront, and that's where the fair is now, of course. And you can sort of see where the Sunsplash would eventually go in. And this is a dated picture. This is what the chalets used to look like. Check out the curtains. Check out the gaudy bed linen and that. All the little E.T. teddy bear. I love that, and I got the E.T. t-shirt on. Big E.T. fan back in the day. So these fountains were dotted all around the park, and they were awesome. I just absolutely loved them. When I think of Butlins, I think of chairlifts, monorails, and these fountains. Now in the arcade, there's also a snooker hall. Used to get like Jimmy White used to turn up, and John Virgo and all that. But hey ho, I was never massively into snooker. We've got some of the playgrounds, which are no longer there. I think that's where the fair is now, because if you look in the background, you can see the Sunsplash roof and all that. Another one of the boating lake. I'd love to see the boating lake come back. And another one of the skating rink. And me holding on for dear life. Okay, more of the outside swim area. I've got to keep doing these because it was so intense. And you can see it's just outside the main building there. But it really was the selling point of the park at the time. It was just like a little water paradise. The monorail! Absolutely miss the monorail. I know it's dated, but I absolutely love it. And there we go, a lovely monorail picture passing up there. Merry-go-round there. Love it. Love a merry-go-round. Another one on the monorail. These pictures are so dated. Look at me with the little blowy antenna thing and the Ghostbusters shirt. Now we're getting a bit further on. This must be 1986 or 7. You'd know better, but that's the Sunsplash. That must be the first year it was put in. Sorry about the glare on this. That's the Sunsplash again, going around the rapids. You can see it all looks very new there now, very different to what it looks like now. Yeah, going around. I've never been a great swimmer, don't like water in my eyes, and there I am holding on for dear life. Oh, you can see a bit of a reminiscence of what I turned into here. The chubbiness is creeping in there. Lay off the donuts, Wes. More Sunsplash. Right, here's one outside the Sunsplash. You can see at the time, they've got all 3 of the tubes in there. They didn't last long. I remember going back the next year and the blue one was taken out because there was a bit of an accident on it. I don't know if you can read about that online, but someone got quite injured because it was a fast one. I never went down these. My granddad did. He said they were great. The red one, as you probably know, was a black hole, so it was dark all the way down. And you can see it sort of, see the outside pool as well there. The legendary chair lifts. I always wanted a yellow one. That's what I always went for, hoping to get a yellow one. They were an absolute death trap, but my favourite part of the park. And we approach the end. Another one of me in the boat. More horsey riding. Absolutely love it. You can see I'm older in this one. I've got the idea of skating. I can balance now. And that's out in the main part of the park again. More of the Sunsplash. And this, I'm guessing this is from 1987, possibly 86, and I believe that includes the memory lane trip of Butlins. Oh, it's a trip down memory lane there. Okay, so you guys have a sister called Penny Lane. My God, what a great name that is. And obviously Beatles inspired there. I understand you, Penny Lane, have a Sphinx cat called Dove. I told my daughter this, she's in the video, you know Marnie, she's in the videos. She's not here at the moment, I'll try and get her on camera later, but she's very camera shy. She's hit 13 and now she's too cool to appear on video a lot, so we'll see what we can do. She is absolutely obsessed with Sphinx cats, like in a huge way. We've got an evil cat called Pepsi, he's over there. I see, he's the sort of that bounces dead mice off your head, you wake you up kind of thing. I also understand you collect some retro My Little Ponies. Which you may think, I'm a boy, I grew up a boy. I'm not into that. Absolutely wrong. I grew up with lots of girlfriends. No, that's the wrong. Lots of friends who were girls. I don't know what I had more in common. I was never into football or anything, so I gravitated towards the female persuasion as a child. So I grew up basically playing with the first generation of My Little Ponies and Care Bears and things like that. Of course, I had my friends over for sleepovers and just to hang out. They did not want to play with my Star Wars figures or Action Force, so I kind of gravitated towards My Little Pony. I used to do a little heavy, had a little salon. It was all different back in those days. My Little Pony, Marnie got into it a few years ago. Quite different. I prefer the retro stuff. They're just built better. I was never actually had any My Little Ponies myself, even though I really wanted them. I got my parents to blame for that one, I suppose, but hang on, I've got something to show you. So it's not My Little Pony, but check out this little fella. One of the remaining things from my slightly effeminate childhood. Rainbow Bear, I called him. I don't know if that's his real name, it's probably not. And this little fella as well. Tried selling him on eBay, but no takers. I called him Goodnight Bear. I have no idea if that was his name, but yeah. So this sort of proved it was not all about Star Wars figures and action men for me. I love these little fellas. Memories. So yeah, that's what remains of my feminine childhood, I suppose you could say. Sold a lot of my retro stuff. Back in the day, I saved it all these years. I sold all my He-Man figures and all that. Anyway, nice to meet you, Penny Lane. Nice to meet you, Denver. Awesome. Lovely to know that you're watching. Really appreciate our fans here at the channel. Okay, back to Birthday Boy, back to Moon today. Come with me, I'm going to show you something cool. So at this point, I'd like to apologise. This was meant to be a couple minute shout out. I've been accused many times of liking the sound of my own voice and saying things in 100 words when I could have said them in 2. So apologies. This is now turned into an epic video. Come with me if you're not bored yet. And we are in the retro cave, as in Marnie's wardrobe. Got some cool stuff to show you from my collection. But look who's joined us to do some filming. It's Mrs. 666. Hello, Nay.
Hello.
Oh, the enthusiasm. Right. Say happy birthday to Moon.
Happy birthday, Moon.
He's 10 today and he's our biggest fan. He even mentioned about wanting to go to Weymouth Comic Con. Because you were recognised at Comic Con. Because it's Naomi who's normally recognised, because I'm behind the camera a lot. It's always you that's recognised, isn't it?
Yeah.
You always get called out by people. So in no particular order, because this is all over the place, we have PS2, Dance mats. Do we remember PS2 dance mats? Way before the whole motion capture, there were dance mats. You literally followed your feet patterns. I've got loads of these. We used to spend ages on that, didn't we?
Yeah.
I'm actually
That's quite good.
A Nintendo Entertainment System Zapper for Duck Hunt. It does actually still work, I believe, but that's another my original didgeridoo thing. That, do you know what that's from? If you don't, I'll come back to that. That's quite a. We have an original Game Boy from. I'm not sure when I actually bought it. I don't know, but the screen's gone. It still works. That's the original fat Game Boy. You know, they've released a slim version. This is from my Xbox 360 days, which never lasted long. This is from a quiz game thing. Tetris for the Game Boy. Now, this one's a bit cheaty because it's not an original. That's a flashback Atari we got for Liam, so that's not a real Atari, but still. Right, from that thing I showed you earlier, these go with that thing. Ooh, what could it be? We have a PS1 controller. No PS1 in this box though. My PS1 got kicked down the stairs and it exploded. Long story, it wasn't intentional. Game Boy Advance. My little retro. In my mind, one of the best consoles ever released, the Nintendo 64. So revolutionary. We owe a lot to this machine. I spent a lot of time on this back in the day. After the N64, I missed out. That's the last Nintendo thing I bought. I jumped from Nintendo straight over to PlayStation. The PS2 is probably, to me, for its time, just absolutely groundbreaking. The stuff this thing could do was amazing, and still is, as far as I'm concerned. I'll go with that. I've got the silver controller still. Shows how old I am. Super Nintendo, bought on release date in 1991. Or was it 2? I don't remember. Came with Super Tennis and Super Mario. So yeah, excellent machine. Brilliant 16-bit software. As far as I'm concerned, better than the Mega Drive. Controversial. This is a bit of a rarity. You don't see many of these. This is the mouse they released for the Super Nintendo. It was released with Mario Paint, which I think I've got up here. Mario Paint, which was a fun paint package. It wasn't very technical, but it was a blast. I spent a lot of time on there doing little animations. But yeah, that was very rare to find a Nintendo mouse these days. They weren't used for anything else, I don't think. I don't think they ever actually... They released Lemmings the next year and everyone was saying it would be a mouse game, but it wasn't. Got another one of these. Controllers to go with it. I love the controllers in this country. The ones in America are just purple buttons and stuff. We get the Smarty style buttons. Lots and lots of leads. Again, this goes with the things I showed you earlier. Well, this is the big reveal at the end of the video. Atari controllers, Nintendo 64 controllers. The controllers you see today owe a lot to this. Everyone say PlayStation? No, it's not true. These are the ones that brought in the whole different ways of redefining controllers, of holding it differently. Absolutely love the N64 controllers. Nay, what's your opinion of the N64 controller?
I don't really remember them.
We used to play No Mercy all the time.
Oh yeah.
Right, so on the N64 has one of the best games ever made. It holds up well to this day and it is the best wrestling game ever released. It's WWF No Mercy. You may have heard of it, I don't know what your skills are or what consoles are your favourites. It is the best wrestling game ever made. To this day, still amazing. Graphics are clunky, playability is amazing. So I spent many years on... Well, we used to do that, we used to design ourselves.
Yeah, I remember now.
Yeah. It's also rare. This is the mouse pad for the Super Nintendo mouse. Very unresponsive, but it says Nintendo on the bottom. The NES. Spent so many years on this thing. I came straight to the NES from the world of home computers. That still works and is still revolutionary for its time. Amazing. I mean, to think that games like Zelda are started on there, and it's just an incredible machine. This is a bit rare as well. This is a official. They called it the NES Advantage, and it's meant to emulate like a arcade experience on the NES. This thing, I don't know. I can't remember if this is worth when I looked on eBay. But it's not great because controllers are better, but at the time there was a calling to emulate the arcade experience. So I can see why they've done it. Again, something which goes with the mysterious thing I'm going to show you in a minute. PS2, NES controllers. We've got a Mega Man on the Game Boy. I never owned Mega Man on the Game Boy. Where the hell did that come from? There's a DS. DS to me was one of the. They released some terrible games on that. They released what was what you'd play on your mobile phone as a free app, but they charge you £30 for it. Had some revolutionary stuff on it, don't get me wrong, but in general, 90% of the game's catalogue was awful. My preferred controller for the N64 because I like yellow. That, my friend, is a light gun from a PS2. They were never marketed that well, but there's a couple of good games. Vampire Knight was one of them, a good game. Actually has the worst voiceover I've ever heard for a video game. So if you're bored, go on YouTube and check out the voiceover for Vampire Knight on the PS2. Terrible stuff. Right, just go through some games before my big reveal, because I've kept this guy for years, and well, we'll get to him. WCW on the N64. This was a precursor to No Mercy, so the sort of coding for the game started with that. We owe a lot to this game. We got things like Rogue Squadron on the N64. Terrific game, absolutely amazing. And then into retro gaming, you probably know about retropie.com. If you don't, yeah, I'm sure you do, but you can download pretty much a ROM of any game and play it on there. Rogue Squadron was absolutely amazing, and possibly the best Star Wars game ever made. And of course we got things like Zelda 64. We're talking about best games ever made. This might actually be the best game ever made. This is the Ocarina of Time. Yeah, probably the best game ever made. R-Type. Great little space shooter. Mario World, that's what was packaged with the original SNES. We do have the boxes for all these, but they're all flat packed with instructions. So we've got things like Duck Hunt, which come with the Zapper. Dr. Mario puzzle game. Oh, interesting. The original Mario Brothers, Bubble Bobble, Gremlins tie. Gremlins, a lot of movie tie-ins are terrible. The Gremlins 2 video game is actually amazing. Anyway, this brings me to Zelda. One of the first games I ever paid full price for. I paid $29.99 for that in Dixon's in probably 1990. I've still got all of the boxing and the paperwork that came with it. There's a version of this selling on eBay. I think they got £200 for it, so this is actually quite a pricey cartridge. I can never part with it. Look at that, it's a thing of gold beauty. Anyway, the main thing, you might have guessed by now, I am one of the few people in this country to still own a fully functioning Rob the Robot. He came with the deluxe edition of the Nintendo thingy I got for Christmas one year. It was marketed as you can literally play games with a robot, and my brother didn't want to know me, so I thought I could have a little robot friend, call him Rob and play games. What they didn't tell you was that he played 2 games, one of which I don't even think was released in this country, and the other one, which comes with this contraption, was just awful. Absolutely impossible to play, unresponsive, does not work. It was not fit for purpose, it never should have been sold. But these things are very rare these days. This is my Rob the Robot. He's lovely, I can't part with him, but he was really, really useless back in the day. Okay, then there's this little thing. This is proper Nintendo from the past. These little things. This is a Donkey Kong 2 handheld Nintendo, which still works, but I haven't got the batteries. It's all LED. You probably know all about these anyway because you're into retro stuff, but I thought I'd share mine. I can't part with him, it's so addictive. The game is absolute tat, but it's it's what we used to do back in the day. If you can see in there, it says game and watch. So it's a game and a watch, handy watch. Absolute bit of portable history, predates the Game Boy. So I don't know how far back your retro stuff goes, but my first computer was a ZX Spectrum 48K. I still got it in the house somewhere. Cannot find it for the life of me today. Also got a +2 Spectrum. I got all the tapes, yes, tapes that went with it. I don't know how far back your retro gaming stuff goes, but it's definitely worth checking out the Spectrum stuff. That's where a lot of good stuff started. You might look at it and be horrified that we used to play it, because it's so different, jarringly different, but that's where it all started with me. Well, then I moved on to the Amiga. It's worth doing some checking on the Amiga. Excellent computer. It sort of was around the same time as the PC. The PC and Macs sort of dominated the Amiga and put it out of business, but the Amiga was my weapon of choice. The reason I mention that is because my favourite game of all time was released on the Amiga. Famously made popular on the Amiga. It's The Secret of Monkey Island, which you can actually download on Steam, the original version and the updated version. I downloaded it in lockdown and played it all again. There's several Monkey Island games. A new one actually come out this year. I've not played it yet. But if you're after the best all-time great retro game, I mean, this dates back to the early 90s, Monkey Island is the way to go. Monkey Island 1 and 2. They're all great, but those two are just next level. And here it is, The Secret of Monkey Island, the best game I've ever played. It's a point and click. It's best played on a PC, although you can get versions on the Xbox, etc. Now, this is the Steam version. This is what it used to look like. Check out the graphics. However, even though I'm in the retro, I advise playing the updated version, which you can toggle just by clicking between them. And you press F10, like so, and the remastered version comes up. It has all the character of the original retro version. It just looks 100 times better. And it's just a beautiful, beautiful game. Original, that's what I played back in the day. And this is what we've got now. If you've never heard of this game, play it. If you have heard of it, play it again. Okay then, that was an extremely long video. I'm so sorry it went on forever. It was meant to be a 2-minute shout out, but I didn't do anything by halves and I bored you to death with a 35-minute video. Anyway, here are the good things about this. Marnie's here. She doesn't even appear on camera anymore because she's too cool for my videos. So, feel privileged. Here she is. Nobody's in the background lurking. Come on, we're all going to sing happy birthday. No, we're not going to sing happy birthday, don't worry. What else is there to say? So sorry this has gone on too long. Keep on loving the wrestling. Blink 182 concert coming up soon. I didn't even realise it was still around. That's awesome. If you haven't tried it already, try some Metallica. Thanks for watching the videos. The Mud Trail. You watch the Mud Trail one. That's one of our favourites because nobody gets hurt a lot in it. He just spends the whole time falling over. It's brilliant. We've got loads of stuff coming up soon. Thanks for watching. This is the first video I've done since February. It's been a long time, so this is all good. So Marnie, what are you going to say?
Happy birthday.
Louder.
Happy birthday.
Go for it. Come on.
I can't do
you can do it.
these. You do it.
Come on, we spent $169.
You do it.
No, do it.
I can't do it.
Marnie, do it.
I can't.
No, do it. Come on.
Well, don't tell them how much it costs.
What? They don't cost like it's Card Factory.
Right, I'll do it.
All right, let's go. Let's go.
Go on. Say happy birthday.
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday.
Oh,
Oh,
right.
shit, my fucking
Oh, I did it. I was right on my ear. Hang on. This is all going wrong. I would not blame you if you unsubscribed from us right now. So to us, from us to you, Denver. Nice to meet you, Denver. Keep on doing the butling stuff. Penny Lane, keep on loving the ponies. And Marnie, I told you about a cat. None of these work. I guess the thing to remember here is don't buy any of these from Card Factory. Like I said, hit the unsubscribe button. I don't know what you're seeing us, mate. Happy birthday! Happy birthday! Happy birthday!
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday! Happy birthday, Moon! Peace out!
Bye.
I'm literally deaf.
That really
My
tempted me
God!
as well.
Even if that wasn't in my ear, it just reverb all around the street.
Yeah,
Who's going to clear this up?
I hate you.
I'm not joking, that's gone right
Yeah, it's
through me.
gone right
I can't
through
hear
as
a
well.
thing. I can't hear a thing.
Yes, you can.
I can't.
Well, why are you replying to Mum now?
I hear it, listen.
They literally
I
exploded.
want our neighbours to think, oh my God, that killed.
It went wee in my ear like a bomb had just gone off.
You two.
Thanks for watching, mate. Happy birthday.